What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it! Go in! Go!
Water! Stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Can't handle me, can you?
Can't get out of this! The fluidity of the move.
Water! Their arcs were interrupted! Where are you going? Here I go! One more! Water! Hear my call!
Illuminate the sun!
Down! Your arm!
Holy Lance!
Denied!
Up and at 'em! Let's go!
Sorry to trouble you.
Resonate with the earth!
Take the sun! Take the flare! Holy Lance! Obtain between heaven and earth! There you go! Don't let up!
Tiger Blade!
Reflect on
Sleep now!
They
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Armor won't save you!
Freeze Lancer! Glacial Spear! Maybe show Kisara a little kindness, huh?
She is strong. She can handle herself.
You can be really dense still, Helene. Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Freeze Lancer! Feel!
This one's mine!
Your art! Here I come!
Let's put you out of your misery!
Freeze Lancer! Raging Cascade!
Here I go!
Now! And again!
Elfin!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Charge Malevolence! Arctic Waterfall! Help this! Feel!
Can't get out of this!
I'll be saving
How
this
about
one!
this?
Water! Hear my call!
Turn up!
Dance on the wind!
Spread! Maelstrom! Too much to handle?
Rending you a bloody solid!
Let's get up the pressure!
Do!
Raging Cascade! Freeze Lancer! Get on in there with the others! Take it! Wind Astral and over! I never quit!
Hurricane Blast! On guard by the power of water!
Help this!
Mega Ray!
Charge Malevolence! It looks like you got this one covered! Pierce evil! Freeze Lancer! Freeze Lancer!
Radiant light!
Art
Force
Seal!
of regeneration!
Don't mind if I do! There!
Regenerate!
Mega Ray!
Let us take to the
Here's a
fray!
healing art! Shining Superstorm! Up and at 'em and
Negative
go!
gate!
Now! Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Here come more!
You'll just have to keep fighting.
Take it! Go! Look
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
Save you!
Glacial Ridwell! Astral Energy! Full throttle! Go! A flawless victory! Heaven and earth! Naturally!
No further!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Sleep now! Freeze! I'll be safe this way!
On guard!
Take it! Help this! Eat dirt!
Inferno Puppet! Where are you going?
Take that! Light confiscated!
Water!
Crazy
Hear my call!
Hurricane!
Hurricane!
I can do it! Help this!
Water!
Hear my call! Freeze land! You get
Resonate with the earth!
Air thrust!
Stalagmite!
Go in! By the power of Tiger Blade!
Came between heaven and earth. A wailing banshee of lightning!
Ready and raring!
Divine lightning!
Nothing gets reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem!
Ready! Look sharp!
Water! Here but not in your dreams! Spread! Far beyond the darkest sky!
No further!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Here's where you go! A chain between heaven and confiscated! One more! Raging cascade!
Air pressure!
Feel! Get on it! Breathe laser! Lightning condemned! Thunder! One more time!
Sorry.
I didn't want to put you out.
What are friends for if we can't depend on one another?
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! If it's in the sky, it's mine! I never miss! Now!
To be let free.
Denied! Here, let me help.
Lightning condemned! First aid! Too much there! Here's a healing illuminate this first aid!
I'm ready! All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Here I go!
Take this!
Wind astral energy!
Not today.
Glacial spear! Pierce it!
Force of regeneration!
Freeze laser! Thank you, Dohoney.
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on.
With precision like that, I'm glad you're not on the other side.
Likewise for you and that shield.
Best to stay in one another's good
Hold on
graces.
to your water! Here I come!
Mine!
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing bounty of light! Close one! Lightning condemned! No more playing nice! Here's a healing art! First aid! Gemini Aqua! A wailing bounty of light!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Here's a healing art! First aid!
All right.
It's about to strike!
Where was I?
Look sharp, everyone. Now or never.
Here, let me help.
First aid!
In your deck.
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe. Will this help?
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alphen!
That's enough. Go back down. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
That thing scared the
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
With this, I can become even stronger.
Hey, is that it over there?
You can... Never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
I'd like to check their wares, if you don't mind.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken. And this is no picnic for me, either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often,
I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Xion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much. When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Xion!
Help it?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Elfin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, in a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world.
Can't. Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right?
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion?
I'll be go-
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust.
Oh, that's a good point. If you think...
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen.
You okay?
Is everyone about ready?
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis' infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're...
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch, and if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too.
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis...
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble.
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally.
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right in?
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in,
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leaves. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dope...
Thinking about what could...
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
when Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe.
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people...
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim. Don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And...
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its...
Right. Then we'll leave... The Danans among us... Should probably keep our...
What?
So, I've been wondering... Do you think with...
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but...
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red.
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want...
Never mind. Forget I asked. Is everything okay?
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home is all.
I was hoping to head this way myself.
I suppose the Sovereign knows I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no...
It's worth investigating. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for...
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for...
Our lot in life is of little consequence.
Oh, why yes...
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Whatever did we do to
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have... We have no choice but to... But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill...
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. Now, the Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information.
I didn't really...
Tell me... With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, their sovereign's up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis and Balsif, Cannabelt. Oh, now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to...
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about the...
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some... Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should...
Yes!
Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he...
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay.
Seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, Just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals. So I guess...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renins, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were Renwell. Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renin doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all...
Shion and Dohalim definitely...
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust.
I'll hold on to that.
There's something I just don't...
Do?
Varia.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid. I'll hold on to that.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, in a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart, and even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is. As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now.
Shion's right. What other Lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always, but I shall...
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's important to have some...
I didn't...
Sometimes...
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
That turned out good, if I do.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Hold! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. It's almost too strong.
It'll split it open!
Be my guest.
Can you take it?
An asteroid?
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
It's over. Gemini Aqua!
Bloody hollow!
I'm only getting started.
I'm ready!
Take this! In here! One more! You're mine!
Shattering all to pieces! Attack time!
The
flame is set! On your knees!
Go! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Take this!
Demons descend!
Flashing fang!
Illuminate the soul! It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Doha.
Indeed. They seem to recognize... And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few...
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros.
I've never seen anything...
Maybe someone doesn't want us here.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, they're starting to develop quite the...
Between heaven and earth.
Stalagmite!
A wailing energy of lightning! Heavy flame of fury! Burning sun! These ones can run rings around us! Mega ray! Heavy flame of fury! Burning sun!
I'm ready!
It's over to astral energy! Full throttle! Purge the level! You're open! Arcane waterfall! Now that's my one!
Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up.
Glacial steel! Here's the ether!
On your knees!
Freeze like super! There! I'm ready! Make it rain! Kizara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Pathetic! I never miss!
Begin!
Take the illuminate the dark! One more! Holy glitter! You're
Make it rain!
between heaven and earth!
All yours, Kisara!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
We seem to have come across some...
I have a bad feeling about this.
Hurricane! Malevolent! Arcane waterfall! Hurricane! Raging Gemini Aqua!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't experiencing enough.
There are in a bind!
This one's mine!
Radiant Lorna! Boost of regeneration! Regenerate!
Malevolent! Arcane waterfall! Going in!
one's all mine! Everlasting!
Illuminate the
Armor won't save you!
This one's mine! Holy Land! Going in! Hurricane Strike!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
Benediction light.
Go get him! First aid! Not on
He who
my watch!
prepares is free from the
Illuminate the dark! Flaming meteor! If it's in the sky, it's Holy Land! This one's mine! Going in!
elusive
Here
genius.
goes! Go get him! Magic is out! Healing Holy Land! You get this! One more! Holy Land! Radiant! Here! Bullseye! Hurricane Strike!
No further.
Blah, blah, blah! There! Holy Land! You get the death! Holy Land!
Elusive deity.
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Here goes!
Denied!
Take the illuminate the dark! Hurricane Strike! Holy Land! Burning strike!
They smite with blackened blade. Shattering the pieces. Attack!
One last one! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Water! Hear my call! Holy Land! Hurricane Flame of fury! Hey! Burning! Go get it! Water! Hear my call! Magic is out! Holy Land! You get the death! Sharpness! Blah, blah, blah! Sharpness! Hear my call! Holy Land! Hear me! Flame of fury! Water! Hear my call! Hey! Take that! Hear me! Flame of bullseye! Blah, blah, blah! Magic! Holy Land! I never miss! Hurricane Strike! Crescent Flash! Unguarded! Radiant Window! Go get him!
Can't get out of this.
Illuminate the dark! Magic is in!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
Ha! There! Guidance!
Ready and rarely. I'll smash you. This one's all mine. Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Holy Land!
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Hear me! Flame of fury! Go get him! Water! Hear my call! Illuminate the dark! Come back! Holy Land! Illuminate magic is out!
Bloody
Holy Land!
You're on!
Blah, blah, blah. Going in! Holy Land!
negative gate.
Back into the fray! Illuminate the dark! Cover
All
me!
mine. Not today.
Hurricane Strike! Not in your dreams! Hit! Blah, blah, blah! Sharpness! Here you get the death! Holy Land! This one's mine!
Regenerate. Ready and
Piercing roar!
free from regret.
Radiant Pierce! Will this help?
In a bind.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Healing Sliver! Holy Land!
I owe you one for that.
I don't even know the word defeat. Holy Land!
I'm ready.
Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike.
I feel sprightlier than before.
Discourteous, aren't you?
Illuminate the dark!
down.
Begin! Holy Sliver! Hear my call!
Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose in life?
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, Holy Quiver! Holy Land!
On guard.
Hey! Take that! One last one!
Shattering of pieces. Attack time. Fire support. Mission. Easy ensnaring to me. Yeah, and the bubble is pouring up.
Take that! Bullseye! Magic is out! Air thrust! That's it!
Take this.
Tomorrow! Inferno Cross! This one's mine! disasters made one.
In a vine?
Burning purity. Water, hear my call. Hear me, flame of fury. Do it. Xion, astral energy, full throttle. Go. Get that. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy land, searing flame. Arc seal. One there. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy land. Pierce. Blah, blah, blah. There. And the holy land.
I'm ready!
Get toasty.
Bird strike!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
That's no ordinary enemy I see over there.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You've got spirit!
Glacial spear. Pierce evil. Pain between heaven. So much for talking it out. Confiscated. Hurricane strike. Hear me. Flame of fury. Burning strike.
In a vine?
Damn it,
This one's mine. Where are you going? Maximum burst. Here I go. Astral energy. Full throttle. All disasters made one. Come forth and hear the purity.
I owe you one for that.
Going through. Dance in the wind. Explode.
Do it!
Sleep now.
Ignite!
Hurricane strike. Hear me. Flame of fury. Burning strike.
Stalagmite.
Hear me. Flame of fury. Burning strike. Far beyond the darkest sky.
Everlasting darkness.
You're mine.
Negative gate.
There. One more. Hear me. Flame of fury.
Anything in armor is all mine. On guard. Make it rain.
Light burst forth!
Radiant genesis. I feel the power flowing through me.
You'll be able to help even more people now.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on...
Little help. They smite with lightning blade. I think I'll pass on the handshake. Illuminate the dark. Here go.
Bring you down.
Holy land.
Here's radiant light.
Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy land. Here. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy glimmer. Holy land. Water. Hear my call.
Nothing gets
No
by me.
further!
Illuminate the dark.
Enough.
Holy glimmer. Holy land.
Either side.
Here goes. One more. Flame of magic. Strike. Water. Hear my call. You get this.
Rending you apart.
Holy land. Hear me. You get the death. Burning strike. You get the death.
Going in.
Holy land. Bullseye. Hurricane strike. Here
This
goes.
one's mine. Water.
Go hear my call.
Yeah.
Spread. Hear me. Flame of fury. Illuminate the dark. Magic is out. Spread. Hear me. Flame of fury. You get the
No
death.
dawn shall break this
Holy
night.
land. You get the death. Holy land. Flame of fury. Burning. Blah, blah, blah. Water. Hear my call. Not on my watch. Spread. All disasters made
I'll
one.
stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara. Water. Hear my call. Here, let me help. I never miss.
I can carve through it's all!
I'll heal you all. Sorry. Illuminate the dark.
Take this!
Holy glimmer.
I am not beyond fury!
I'm on Inferno first. I'll heal you all. Illuminate the
Negative gate!
Rending you apart.
I'm grateful.
I'm sorry to trouble you. Behold! The Earth's hope! Tectonic vision!
Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy glimmer, holy
They
land.
smite with dragon blade!
Switch to offense.
Take that. Hear my call. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy glimmer, holy land.
Temptation root. Inside me, yours to be let free.
Here's the healing art! Here
You
goes!
made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Oh,
On your knees.
Shattering of pieces!
Attack time! Inferno crossing!
Mega Ray!
Hurricane to the bridge! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Fire water!
Let's go in!
Hurricane, where are you going? Oh, sparkling star!
Benediction light.
Meteor! Sparkling star! Rain down! Mega Ray! I'm all stopped up!
Nothing gets by me!
Meteor storm!
Radiant light.
Do it! Dohalim!
Light burst forth.
Radiant Denison! I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Get lost!
Shine. Radiant light.
Now you'll learn!
I've used too much.
Here I go! One to the ring! I'm only getting started!
This one all mine.
Denied!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Hear me! Now! Fury! Burning strike!
Rending you
Here I go! Shield! And again!
Bloody holiday.
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
I'll do my
Flame
best!
of fury! Burning strike! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Bring you down! Going in! Not on my watch! Hear me! Flame of fury! Trying to keep up with the wall! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Illuminate the dark! Come fight! Holy glitter! A chain between heaven and earth! Hear me! Flame of fury!
In a bind.
Lightning! Tiger blade! Divine haste! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning
Regeneration. Regenerate.
Dance in the wind!
Save you! Denied!
There! One more! Chain between heaven and earth! Mega Ray! Hear me! Flame of fury! Hear me! Flame of fury!
Negative gate. It's on.
More for the stockpile!
Easter.
Burning strike!
Rending you up.
Now! Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
Mega Ray! Here I go! Go! Mega Ray! I'm only getting started!
Ray!
Kisara. All yours, Kisara.
Onward and upward.
Discourteous song.
I'm ready! Dance in the wind! Hurricane! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Hear me! Flame of fury! I can't let the hatred consume me! This one's the killer field! By the
The
power
enemy
of
wields
war!
art too.
We'll soon see about that! Here's the hero! I'll be saving you!
Take this.
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Now you see what I can do.
Hear me! Burning strike! Hear me! Flame of fury!
Easter.
Flame of fury!
Make it rain!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
handle this. In here! Toxicity! This is it! Explode! Holy land! I never miss! Confiscated! Here! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Thunder down! This is the wind! Take it! Listen!
No further!
Mega ray!
This one's all mine!
This is it! More for the second half!
Begin!
Mega
Pretty
ray!
well! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I need to be stronger.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision.
That person Alphen was speaking to, she...
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
She really does look like Shion.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly?
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an
But how is that even possible? Unless...
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was...
I felt it too. And not for the first time either.
That would make sense. After all, for all we know, perhaps we're close...
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just...
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even...
Shion.
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's reliving painful episodes from your past.
I can't just pretend like the past never... Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. I'd like to live...
Whether you're on... Not that...
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Like that before?
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the... Where did she get her hit? From that.
First we handle the people, then we get the men.
Aim from a weak point. Here I go. Got it. In front. Magic is there. Freeze Lancer. You get this. Air thrust. Score.
Look sharp.
The sky is mine. This one's mine. Dance in the wind.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
All mine. Inferno Pro.
Did you hear it, Easter?
First strike. Water. Hear my call. Thunder field.
Can't get out of this!
Water. Hear my call. Inferno Red.
Eagle side! Will this have a shot?
Illuminate the sun!
Anything in all mine!
Holy red!
Spot.
The flame inside is yours to be let free!
Right there! Watch this!
I'm
on it! Going in! Inferno crossing!
All
this one is come to an end!
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Dust to dust!
Hear my call! Here!
Here! Let's
Here!
Easter! Going in!
Radiant! Here! Steel Force! Out of ammo!
Take this!
That'll bring you down!
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the dark! Holy glimmer! Holy
Wheel!
Lightning meteor!
Anything in all
Lightning!
This one's
First here!
This one's mine!
More for the joy pile! Shion, astral energy, full throttle! Go!
Will this help? Talon Storm! Hurricane Strike!
More with that healing
This
power!
one's mine! Punchula! Steel! I'm gone! Pull myself together!
Here it now! Here goes!
I'm gone!
Not on my watch! There! Guard beyond the darkest sky! I'm all upon it!
Nothing gets by me!
Holy land!
Look sharp!
Heaven and earth!
Rip and tear!
A
Hurricane
wailing banshee of lightning!
Look sharp!
Take this!
Magic is there! Healing field!
Appreciate the help. Here I go. Hurricane Posto! Can't get out of this! Armor won't save you! And it was nice while it lasted. This one's mine! I'm on it! I'll end you! Water! Hear my cricket! Better on play! Where are you going? Eat this! Will this help? You're done! All disasters made one! Rip and tear! Now in the groove! Rip and tear! Glimmer dragon! Now I'm in the groove! Hurricane strike! This one's mine! Come on! I'll pick you up! This one's mine! I'll heal you all! Crescent moon! Shooting star! Dance in the wind! Going in! Oh my god! I can handle it! Eagle Guard! Is one tough cookie. Not for much longer, he isn't. Don't let up till it's all over. Eat this! I'll put you through! Going in! On a roll now! Eat this! I can carve through armor! Eat this! Time to stop! Magic is there! Glimmer dragon! Rip and tear! I'm just getting started! Here goes! Almost! I'm on it! Oh, this one's mine! First strike! Look sharp! Thunderfield! Tectonic Easter! Where are you going? Hurricane going in! Eagle like Steel! Radiant Steel! Piercing ray! Hurricane strike! Eat this! I'm out of ammo! Going in! In a vine, watch it! Healing circle! Thanks so much! Eat this! What's your armor? Armor won't save you! Make it rain! I got you! Kisara!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well.
Do you...
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing.
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful.
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get...
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth...
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. these really are Naori's memories we're watching. There could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths—
I'm sorry about what I said earlier.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined.
That vision we saw.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
If the people of... So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Vol... Ron as well. Only...
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Elfin. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Elfin.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Elfin escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her?
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain. And why you were asleep for that whole...
Yeah. If it weren't...
Now that you know how she felt,
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force... Naori was the one who put that mask on me. And made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, the spirit channeling. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
the Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Elfin to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Elfin's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the Maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done with the destructive force now slumbering inside of me. I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it with the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power. Perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. To buy the time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time.
If locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns.
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your Shion.
It's possible?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to a...
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work...
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but... I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance. Even though I know the world's still in great peril, it's...
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shion.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
Now let's get moving, shall we? So Naori...
Sounds... That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secret...
We're along.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself. Reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's...
They're not feeling particularly targeted.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
By the power of water!
It's on!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning dance on the wind!
Reflect on thy sin.
Rising water!
Not today!
A wailing beauty of lightning! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Hear me! Flame of fury! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! I'm only getting started!
Can't get out of this!
I'm ready!
Take this!
Now you see what I can do!
Denied!
Does it hurt?
Dance on the wind!
Sleep now! Think again! No defense! Where are you going? Confiscated! Take it! And okay!
Eat dirt!
Wind astral energy! Seven Eye Aqua! I'm only getting started! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Strong here! Cycle! And again! Magna Ray!
Rising Falcon!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Strong! Illumination!
Prepared to flee from this wreck.
One more! Water! Tear water!
Shattering Demon
Pieces! Attack!
Eagle Ray! Eternal devastation!
Begin! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Now we're not gonna...
Chain between heaven and earth!
Take this!
A wailing beauty of lightning!
Soaring light spear!
Resonate with
Hear
the
me! Flame of fury! Burning!
This one's mine!
Hear me! Ready!
On your knees.
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning! Strike! More with that gear! Take one more! Here's a healing art! First aid! in the wind! Air strike! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Here, let me help. Denied! Here's her! First aid! Illuminate the dark! Come forward! Holy Core! Holy Land! Between heaven and earth!
Shine! Now we're in a bind?
In here! I never miss!
Dragon Swarm!
I'll be safe again! Here me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Now hear me! Heaven and earth! Here burning strike! Not in your dream! Here I go! Burn! Arcane waterfall! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Ready and raring! Here! I'll smash you! Being interrupted.
Now! Go!
Rising
I'm
Wyvern!
only hear me!
No!
Flame of fury!
Nothing gets by me! Can you take it?
All day! There! One hook!
Take this!
Here me! Flame of fury!
Burning strike!
Eternal catapult! Mega red!
Dazzle! Catapult! Rising Falcon!
Dance in the wind! I'm only here!
Now it's my turn!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Heaven and earth! Strike!
Throbs in pain.
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Don't suffer in silence.
There! I can control all day!
Rising Wyvern!
Power of water!
Rending you a bloody ignite!
By the power of the wind! Take air thrust! The chain between hearts! I'll heal you all! Confiscated!
Armor won't save you! On your ruin gate! Severing wind!
Another incantation ruined.
Mega red!
Elusive fury!
Raging cascade!
Raging Falcon!
Magic is here!
You're mine!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Rising Falcon!
Shooting star! Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Burn in hell!
Freeze Lancer!
Here I come!
Here I go! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
On your
Where are you going?
Finish it!
Very well! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
Take this!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alpha, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
It's too late. We can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
But seriously, I was not expecting Voron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yep. Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't...
Dispose of the trash.
Bring him down!
Here I go!
One more! Armor won't save you!
Can't get out of this! That makes me the thorn in our side.
Now you learn!
The flame inside me, yours! Be let free!
I'm ready!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Radiant Light! That's my cue!
Shield and
Shut him down!
Dreams!
I'm ready!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Water! Hear my call! Inferno call! Now! Elfin! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Any injuries?
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Can't get out of this!
A wailing fancy of women!
Take this!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Here goes! Inferno
Benediction.
We did it!
Blood! Raging cascade! Burning strike! Hear my call!
Denied!
Freeze Lancer! Blah blah blah! Not on my watch!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And puzzle to me!
Illumination Sword! Come forth! Holy Land! Stand between heaven and earth!
The earth throbs in pain.
A wailing dance!
Now it's my turn! Reflect on thy sins. They can't get out of this!
Wind energy! I'm never fit!
Soaring blast!
Searing sky! Very dance in the wind!
Through armor!
In here! Hear me! More for the burning strike!
Water! Hear my call!
Spread! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Water! Hear my call!
Sweet dreams!
No more playing nice! Gravitas field!
Holy land! Magna heaven and earth!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! I'll shoot down any foe that stands in our way.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest
And once...
Ah, Shion.
Okay. That beam of light joining